I'm still catching my breath and super excited about the World Track and Field Championships competition that took place in Tokyo recently, listening to all the recap podcasts, and I heard an absolutely astonishing stat on the great Let'sRun.com show, and it was referencing the East African, North African athletes dominating the middle and long distance events for a generation. From 1987 to 2021, out of a possible 64 gold medals given out at World Championships, that's held every 2 years, in the middle and long distance events, so it's a 1,500, 5,000, 10,000 marathon and steeplechase, 64 out of 64 gold medals were won by athletes born in Africa, North Africa or East Africa. It was perceived at that time that the Africans had a genetic advantage for endurance, and it played out in every single global championship to the extreme level. What's happened recently, since we've had competitions in 22, 23, and now 25 in Tokyo, in Tokyo, every single gold medal was won by a non-African athlete. So, what's changed? There were a lot of theories. I think some of them sounded kind of lame, like there's more super shoes in Western nations. Those guys get super shoes too if they run fast enough in Kenya and Ethiopia. I believe what happened back then was the early pioneers, the great African runners like Kip Keino, who won the gold medal in '68 in Mexico City, showed what was possible, brought that global attention, and then young athletes were able to train and excel and pursue massive, massive economic incentives that dwarf anything going on in the West. A lot of times it's a sacrifice to put your other career on hold and train like a madman for a decade after college to try to win and excel. But in African nations like Kenya and Ethiopia, today, the per capita income is something like $2,500. So if you become even a competent long-distance runner, you can head out to a community 10K that your agent brings you to in the United States, win a couple few grand, and that is a per capita income. So the great champions that won all those 64 gold medals became among the wealthiest persons in the entire country and were legends like the athletes in the major sports are here in the United States and other Western nations. So they had massive economic incentives combined with the genetics, a huge talent pool going for those medals, right? So a lot of them fell off, get injured, never developed. But when you're training a group of 100 talented runners at high altitude, the cream of the crop's going to rise, and it's going to kick butt in global titles. I'm going to talk about some other aspects in the next reel.